Philippine Airlines Flight 21st has been reported to have crashed land in southern Mindanao, specifically in the Davao region. A librarian was believed to be on board, and despite the plane being torn apart, reports claim she miraculously survived.
Up! Up! Pick up! Boss, I need rescue. I don't know where I am, and I'm not supposed to be here. I have yet to do my report on notable writers from around the world. Hurry!
I'm afraid that won't be possible. It's merely just a setup.
What? What do you mean set up? I almost died.
Davao is a land of promises. Feature their noble writers. It will be your report. Your performance will determine whether or not we will rescue you. Good luck.
What? No. No! Why did I ever agree on working with him in the first place? Such a nuisance. I don't even know when or where to start. Wait. Hey, excuse me. What are you reading?
I'm reading Waking Eyes by Ricardo and Julia.
Hey, what about you? May I know what book are you reading? Basbasain, Tita Lamundi, ni Tita Lacambra Ayala. Okay, you? Carl Gaspar's Monobos Dream, Manarakan. Right. Thank you. Do you want me to show you around? Show what around? Davao. Davao region, and the people we've mentioned, our writers. Hey, thank you. It was nice learning about your writers. I owe you a lot. Anytime. Have a safe trip back home. Took you long enough.
Let's hear it.
Well, Davao region is a promising region. I get to know 3 of the most amazing writers they have in here. First was Ricardo de Ungria. He is widely known as Ricardo or Ricky M. de Ungria, and he was born in 1951 in Manila, Philippines, and a 65-year-old Filipino poet. Reading Ricky de Ungria's works is rewarding aesthetically and intellectually. He proved himself to be one of the leading contemporary Filipino poets. An examination of his works clarifies that he does not base all his poems on experience alone, but on the events his observant and genius eyes can see. His mastery to handle subject as subtle as love marks the giant leap of Philippine poetry. He graduated with a BA Literature cum laude degree from the De La Salle University and an MFA in Creative Writing from Washington University in St. Louis, United States in 1990 when he was awarded a Fulbright grant. In 1999, he moved to Davao City in Mindanao to become the first dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences of the new established UP Mindanao campus. In the same year, he founded the Davao Writers Guild that eventually published the works of its members and held poetry readings in the different universities in the city. Published Dagmay, which was the first literary page in a local newspaper, Sunstar Davao. And initiated the Davao Writing Workshops in 2005 that became an annual first-level training ground for young and beginning writers in the region and in the island. For his achievements in literature and writing, he was awarded the Gawad Balagtas by the Umpil in 1999 and the Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan by the City of Manila in 2007. He was also UP Artist from 2009 to 2011 and 2012 to the present time and the recipient of 7 National Book Awards. He has 6 books of poetry, including RADIO, Decimal Places, and the most recent Pigeon Levitations, a luxurious, refreshingly unabashed collection of the poet's earlier work. He has also edited a number of anthologies, 3 of which are Passionate Patience, 10 Filipino poets on the writings of their poems, Catfish Surviving in Little Schools, and the Likhaan Anthology of Poetry and Fiction. The second is Tita Lacambra Ayala. An Ilocano by birth, Tita Lacambra Ayala relocated to Davao in the mid-50s. Her writer's engagement coming to include school journalism and working for a pineapple canning factory. She broke through in 1960 with Sunflower Poems, a slim first book of chipboard printed poems. Critics noted her emotional intensity, finding strength in her deliberate diminution of scale and scope. Tita Lacambra Ayala was an Ilocano-Filipina poet, writer, and artist. She was born Marciana Agquaili on January 2, 1931. Although she was birthed in Sarat, Ilocos Norte, she grew up in Antamok, Benguet. She pursued her Bachelor of Science in Education degree at the University of the Philippines. She majored in English and minored in history. While studying, she supported herself by freelance writing for magazines. She graduated in 1953. It was in UP where she met the artist and writer Jose Ayala, who became her husband. The couple had 6 children. She is the mother of the singer-songwriter Joey Ayala. Her 1981 art and poetry portfolio, billed as the Roadmap series, has helped launch the career of the region's budding artist. With 76 issues to date, the series has enjoyed the steady support of local sponsors as it features the region's vibrant output of verse. In 2003, the NCCA funded the Roadmap's electronic vision and VCD format for audience viewing in both literary and visual arts. Copies of the Roadmap disc, donated by Lacambra Ayala herself, enhance her aliw memorabilia. Her poetry collections include Sunflower Poems, Ordinary Poems, Poor Boy Poems, Camels and Shapes of Darkness in a Time of Olives, and Tala Mundi. Her prose collection include Pieces of String and Other Stories, Friends, The Confessions of a Professional Amateur. And last but not the least, Carl Gaspar. Brother Carlito Carl N. Gaspar is Academic Dean of the Redemptory St. Alphonsus Theological and Mission Institute in Davao City and a professor of anthropology at the Ateneo de Davao University. He is described most by his colleagues as a man with spirituality that embraces the poor and the oppressed. His cultural background includes the height of martial law, where he was fighting for democracy and was captured and detained for 22 months by the regime's military. During his detention, he was adopted by Amnesty International as a political prisoner and became more determined to stand up for peace and freedom. For nearly 3 decades, Carl has lived and worked with indigenous communities in southern Mindanao. Born on June 8, 1947 in Davao City, Brother Carl completed his doctoral degree in the Philippine Studies from the University of the Philippines in Quezon City in 2001. He is a postgraduate of Master of Science in Economics from Asian Social Institute in Manila in 1971 and a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Ateneo de Davao University in 1967. Gaspar is the author of several books, including Desperately Seeking God-Saving Action, Yolanda Survivor's Hope Beyond Heartbreaking Lamentations, and 2 books of Davao history launched in December 2015. He writes 2 columns for Mindanews, one in English and the other in Binisaya. And that is all that I know about Davao writers. And whether or not you're pleased, it doesn't really matter.
And why is that?
You see, people here, they're nice. Definitely won't purposely crash land my flight to someplace I don't know.
I see you've grown quite fond of their literature. See, all of this I did for you. You spend a lot of hours surfacing through other countries' literature, international writers, up to the point where you almost didn't consider your own.
Is that so? Apologies on me then. And thanks. It was a rather fruitful journey.
Come back, Ancient AJ.
Noted, boss. I'll see you around.